Well, hello there. Welcome to my energy and abundance reading for this week, beginning the 6th of December 2021. Now, as you know, we've had a full moon, a solar eclipse for a brief while, and I think the energy just has been generally feeling pretty intense. I know a lot of people around me have been saying to me, I'm at my wit's end. I can't go on like this. How much longer before we get through to the other side, etc., etc. I'm sure you've been feeling that too. I know I have. So anyway, on the global landscape, they've revealed another level of this virus agenda. I just touched on it last week. It was kind of quite new last week, newly released. So there's been more talk about that, in Parliament and governments and all sorts of things. Most importantly, I think that it offers an interesting distraction away from the court case of Ghislaine Maxwell, or however you pronounce her name. I keep hearing people pronounce it differently. This Maxwell case is not being talked about in mainstream media, of course, and it involves absolutely top people, elites, celebrity people, Hollywood people, judges, politicians, bankers, royals even. It's going to be worth investigating it if you don't already know what the case is about and who's involved and what's really going on. It's all about sex trafficking, human trafficking, pedophilia, this kind of thing. All of this is involved in this case. So have a look at that if you don't know what that's about. Chances are you won't, unless you're looking at alternative media. So what the point of this is, why I'm mentioning it, is because we're at this time on the planet where truth is just coming out. It's like it can't be stopped now. The truth will reveal. We know that the truth always wins in the end. And I know that this has been a long time coming. But, these are the snippets, the breadcrumbs, or I call them the raindrops of bits of information that you can see starting to reveal now, because it can't be hidden anymore. Our eyes are wide open, and many of us are seeing the cracks appearing in all sorts of things. So, we have believed certain people have our best interests at heart. And in a sense, we could say that we've given our power away to them. Whether this is governments, politicians, teachers, doctors, mentors, spiritual leaders even. Anyone that you've had dealings with, really, if they are not working in the side of truth and light, they may have taken advantage of you for their own personal gains. And we're at this time now where we're beginning to see right through that. Literally, the amount of light that's coming onto the planet, our eyes are opening up. Whether you realize it or not, there is a mass awakening happening on the planet. And you only have to look, on alternative news and see the number of people in the streets to know that from 6 months ago, from a year ago, something big is happening on this planet. So, you can see the cracks appearing if you look. Things are not anymore what they at first appeared to be. With only a little bit of investigation, we can see that there's things going on behind the scenes. I think that that's a really exciting time for us. Now, over the next 3 months, I think, astrologically, the energies are intensifying. As I've said, we are at a time of awakening on the planet. We can't deny that. It's just rolling out. And as more and more light comes onto the planet, we're going to see more. And as we see more, that might be a bit disturbing. For us that have been looking at it for a long time, we probably know a lot, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot that will shock us too. For people that are new to this, newly awakened, or even in those early days, really, of waking up, it will be massive and shocking for them. And for the people that are sound asleep still, when this hits, I don't even know how they'll cope, quite honestly. There will come a time when all of the stuff that we talk about in alternative media will have to make it onto mainstream, whether that's in the same format that the mainstream is currently running, or whether it will be a whole new broadcasting system to get the truth out. I don't know what that will look like, but we know it's coming, because you can't hide the truth forever. And we're at that, I was going to say pivotal time, because it feels like that, really. So as this comes to light, what's been done to us, you know, as people, to the earth, to all systems, financial, medical, you know, like across the board, everything that's going on that is not right, that is not in the best interests of humanity, that is going to be revealed. And some people will be shocked to the core. Others of us will be, you know, singing hallelujah, finally we're here. But the thing is, people are struggling already, and many of them will struggle even more as the old systems break down mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. We're going to see all of that playing out. And we need to be strong through that process. We don't want to be losing our shit as well. You know, when we think we might be awake and we think we might know things, sure, there will be things that surprise us, but really we're the ones that need to hold it all together. So it's kind of like everything on the planet is going to be taken back to basics. It's literally like, you know, pulling back everything right to the core of it and saying, right, well, actually, let me just also mention that the core of many of these systems that we have on the planet is rotten to the core, right? So we have to go all the way back to the basics of that, strip that out and rebuild anew. So there's going to be some major shakeups. Let me just say it like that. What do you value the most, though? And what are you prepared to fight for? That's the important part. And when I say fight, I mean energetically, spiritually, not physical, you know, handcuffed hands kind of thing, but standing up for the truth. Okay, so what do you value most? And what are you willing to stand for? What is your truth? The more in alignment you are with knowing your own values, knowing what's important to you, the more you will be supported, but you will be required to stand up for that truth. You know, you can't just sit back and expect everyone to do this for you anymore. In fact, that's how we've got to this point, right? We kind of gave our power away and we let everybody else, like, i.e. governments and all of that stuff, even medical, tell us what to do, tell us what was best for us. But we gave our power away to people that didn't have our best interest at heart. They don't know us on the inside. They don't know fully what we require. So in a sense, we may even have betrayed ourselves in that way by giving our power away. So it's time to kind of take stock within yourself and say, what's important to me? What am I willing to stand for? Because all of your rights are being taken away, not just yours, but your children, your grandchildren, you know, across the board, the whole of society. So this is the time to say, you know, these things are important to me and I will stand for these, and I won't give my power away in this respect anymore. So we will see more and more uprisings around the planet. We shouldn't see this as protests and violence. We should see this as people standing in their truth, standing for what they believe, standing for their values, expressing themselves, using their voice, using their energy and the power within them to stand for change, because there has to be a change. We can't continue the way things have been because it's so out of balance, you know. And so the people that are choosing to stand and protest or march, whatever you want to call that, these are the people that are choosing to stand in the light. These are the people that are showing that they have awakened, actually. They are awake to what's going on. Now, I think back in, going back years in spiritual groups, we think of people that are awake as being all, connected and meditating and, the spiritual types. But no, it's not that. This is awake to what's been going on the planet, awake to the atrocities, awake to the imbalance, all of that, awake to the power constructs, because that's what people are speaking up about now. They're speaking up about what they know. Nurses, doctors, police, everything. People are coming out and saying, look, this is what I've been seeing. It's not talked about on mainstream. But this is people that are not willing to stand by and watch other people be harmed now. They are standing in their truth and they are calling it all out. And this is a massive wave happening across the globe, around the globe, depending if you're round earth or flat earth, but whatever, it's happening all over the world. Let's just say it like that. It's a global movement of awakening, which we knew was coming. We've waited a long time and it's here. And still some people are asleep. So we kind of have to be a little bit patient with them. I don't think that we should necessarily tiptoe around them anymore, though, because when we do that, we become complacent, we become compliant, and that doesn't help to change, because we know we need a change. So the quicker this change comes, the better for all of us. It's important that we stay focused now. This is about standing up for your rights and staying focused at the same time on your personal growth, on your healing, on your business, really, as well. It's not like let everything go. I've had quite a number of my clients coming to me and saying, oh, with everything that's happening on the planet, here I am trying to develop my business. What's the point? Well, the point is, if you have something good to share with people, if you are here to help and serve other people, and if you have something that is going to help them and change their life in some way, well, you can call that a business, but is it service, really? Is it something that you are passionate to help people to understand or to learn? You know what I mean? So have a look at that. I think businesses that are set up purely to make money from people, I think we're going to see them go down. And, we've kind of been seeing a little bit of this happening with, whether they're discriminating about who can walk in their door and who can't, based upon, the thingy, whether they've got that or not. So we're looking at these businesses, and I appreciate that every business owner has bills to pay and they're doing the best that they can. But we're kind of seeing now who's standing for truth and who's standing for people's rights and sovereignty. So, all of that is being seen from a higher view. You can say that that's karma as well, because things are going to play out based upon the choices that we make now. And most importantly, it's about coming into your heart and being kind to people. So this close to Christmas, don't take your eye off the ball, because the other guys that want to push through more and more of these controls and suppression orders, they're banking on the fact that we're all going to get tired and give up. They're banking on the fact that we want to give up a little bit and just have a nice, quiet Christmas. But it can't be like that. When you're standing for truth and sovereignty, you can't just put your sword of truth down and have a holiday for a couple of weeks because it's Christmas and that's what you normally do. So I think it's fair to say that there's going to be a little bit of a different Christmas this year, especially for those people that have been refused the right to work, to earn a living, to provide food for their families, while the people that put those restrictions in place on the other people, are sitting back happy with a full table of food. That's the imbalance that we're looking at on the planet. There are people that take people's rights away. Look at the human trafficking. And there are people that are willing to put suppression orders in place for years so that we never get to see who the sad, sicko people are that are harming children. And this is all the imbalance that we're looking at on the planet. So with that amount of imbalance that we're trying to address out there, of course, micro and macro means that we are likely to feel imbalance within us inside as well. Part of us are trying to make things work in the old system. The other part of us is saying, whoa, I just want to back off because this is just all too much. But we're being called upon to look at the truth inside of us as well. What is most important to us, really? And you can sit and ask yourself that in meditation and in your journaling. So don't get all out of balance even more now. So we have these things that we do at Christmas and in the lead up to Christmas that you might be pushing and pushing to make happen in the old way. But we really are in unprecedented times, and we really are in a time where things are going to be done different, where we need to do things differently. So cut yourself a little bit of slack and say, you know what, maybe it's time to change some things, to do things differently. I would say there's probably going to be more family arguments this year than any other year, and we know that Christmas is notorious for family arguments. So care for yourself first, and your little ones, your kids, care for you as a family unit first and do what's right for you. That's the most important. They say that charity begins at home, but that's also charity within you. So be kind to yourself. Don't be trying to push to make it all look right on the outside when inside you're at breaking point. If you need a break, then give yourself that break. Say, we normally do all these things at this time of the year, but this year we're just going to keep it a little bit quiet. Maintain your personal values, and your health should be one of those. So I'm always talking about balancing masculine and feminine. We know that the distorted masculine and feminine is all about push and what things appear to be on the outside. We also know that the divine masculine and feminine within each of us works in a completely different way. And let's elevate that part of us, because that is the part that is most sacred to us. So let go of some things. Come inside of yourself internally and say, what's most important to me, and how do I find balance and calm in this period of time? Because I can promise you, on the global landscape, things will intensify over the next few months. And we need you in balance, because you're the one that needs to hold the truth and hold the light. And that's so important right now. So we're creating something new here on the planet. We are the creators, and we're going to see old structures and systems have to break down to be built from the ground up, new foundations. We've never been where we are on the planet right now. We've never been there ever before, where everything is breaking down and we're building it anew. But that can be a very, very exciting time. And for those of us that are aligned to truth and light and freedom and sovereignty and caring for each other, that's a very exciting time, because we get to have the opportunity to do some good in this world, finally. It's time to take our power back from government systems, relationships that are harming us, businesses that are exploiting us, but life in general. Take back the power so that we can create a life of balance and happiness. That means that there are not homeless people. That means that there are not people starving. Suddenly, wouldn't it be nice, right, if we could take all the money that's been sent out around the world in these little vials of thingies and turn that into food and shelter for people? Wow, where's the balance in all of that? That there are people homeless and starving because they have no money, and the governments apparently have no money, but there's money for this thing. So let's look at all of that. Let's open our heart and become humanitarian, finally. It's not about who wins, it's about who gives and shares, you know, really. There shouldn't be people that have the power to take the rights away from other people to earn an honest living and to provide food and shelter for their family, you know. So all of this is coming up to be seen now. It's like there's a massive spotlight on the inequality, and this is where we need to look at ourselves as well and say, how can I be of service in this? How can I give back? How can I share? You know, can I open my heart? Can I open my door to somebody that needs some help? Could I open my wallet and give to somebody that can benefit? And that's always a little bit of a difficult point for me when it comes to giving to charities, when we know so many of them are corrupt. And that is, that's really sad, you know, all the money that has been donated to help these causes, and we find that the money never reached the people that really needed it. And that's something that the spotlight is going to be shined massively on as well. So keep it close to home. Care for the people that you know in your neighborhood maybe that are struggling. And let's just take this opportunity to bring some light to the people that are seeing dark days. And we know that there's light on the planet coming more and more. And it's a time for us to open our heart, elevate our consciousness, and be a force of good upon this planet. Knowing, of course, that the more that we give genuinely from our heart, the more comes back to us. It's very different than giving in order to look like a good person, to say all the right things. I'm talking here about genuine giving from the kindness of your heart to people that could really benefit from it. That doesn't necessarily mean that you video it and put it all over social media. That means quietly giving from the goodness of your heart because you're a good person and you want to give back. And when we act in that way, then we're absolutely in alignment with divine flow, with abundance that is available to all of us. And so as we give, so we receive back, but we don't do it for social media credits. We do it for God, for people, for kindness, for humanity. So that didn't quite go where I thought it was going to go. But there you go. It obviously needed to be said. So I hope that you gained something of value from this. As I say, I didn't quite go where I thought we were going to go. Most of my notes that I've written, I kind of didn't even look. There you go. I'm sure somebody needs to hear this, and I hope that you receive it with kindness. And I hope that it blesses your heart this day. So have a great week, and I will see you here again next week. Bye for now.